All right, hello and welcome to Sukkah Daf
Lamed Aleph.
31. Shmuel and I are both drinking coffees. Let's say l'chaim. L'chaim tov l'shalom. You have to bang your glass against mine. You have to bang your glass. L'chaim.
Let's make it quiet.
What coffee did you choose this morning?
I don't know what it was.
We're going to have a coordinated coffee party. We have to, coordinate our coffees.
Okay.
All right, let's start from the top. Lamed Aleph. Tarabanan Sukkah Gzula. If you have a sukkah which is stolen, a misachah which is a rabbin, or you made a sukkah in public. A lot of times people like, Manhattan or something like that, they don't have a place to build their sukkah. They build it on the street, in the middle of the street. You ever seen that? A sukkah in the middle of the street?
I see it here sometimes. I don't know.
Chabad does that a lot. I think restaurants also, they put it in the middle of the street.
How do they do that?
So we're going to see. Those are posel. Those says posel. Chum machshir. Chum says it's a good sukkah. You can go in there and eat. We pass on the chum. Rav Nachman machlokes b'shtoga es chavero tzil b'sukaso. The machlokes is by sukkah gzula. Now we're going back to sukkah gzula, a stolen sukkah. When you eject your friend, meaning you take him and you physically escort him out of the sukkah.
That sounds like a good friend.
Or your bodyguard escorts him out of the sukkah. I like that, Shmuel. We drank together. Symmetry. We're meeting in the heart and in the mind.
This will be an Olympic sport. Symmetric coffee drinks. We have everything today.
I think you'd come in probably like 7th place or something like that. You wouldn't win the gold. We wouldn't win the gold. We need a lot of practice. Do you know where the Olympics are being this year?
Being held?
Yeah, where are they being held?
I don't know. Borough Park?
They have Olympics for Torah learning in Borough Park. The athletic one is in Tokyo.
Tokyo.
It's actually Tokyo. Where? Which country is that in?
Tokyo. Sounds Asian.
Yes, it is Asia. It's a famous country.
Famous country?
Yeah. They have a population of over 110 million. The city is one of the biggest metropolises in the world. Maybe the biggest metropolis.
Really?
You know what a metropolis is?
Metropolis. It sounds like something from Superman.
It is, you're right. He also is part of a metropolis, yeah.
All right, I remember that.
But actually, it's called like a metro area. Like you have the city connected by all the transportation where it goes to, and you count those also, the cities or the villages or the neighborhoods where the transportation from the main city goes to. That's called a metropolis.
London.
It's like a large city.
London is
This is actually Tokyo is the biggest one in the world. Actually,
really?
Yeah. New York is only, let's say, a metropolis of 23 million people.
23 million people.
Yeah, New York City.
You mean New York City and
Manhattan, meaning
what? Manhattan doesn't have
New York.
What are you talking about? 23 million people.
8 million people live in New York City, and the metropolis is about 23 million people.
You're joking?
Yeah, but Japan, I gave it away. Japan is the country that hosts Tokyo is the capital. Tokyo's metropolitan area is about 39 million people. It's the biggest metropolitan area in the world.
39 million. Wow.
I have to make a correction. Metropolis is not the same as a metropolitan area. I meant to say metropolitan area.
Yeah.
Metropolis is a city along with other cities surrounding it. That's Superman. That I think he was based in. Obviously, he was based in. I think it was Connecticut, maybe. Tri-state area.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
You never heard of the tri-state area? New York, New Jersey, Connecticut.
Sure. On the radio, they always say tri-state, serving the tri-state area. New York.
All right.
Jersey.
So anyway, so you throw out your friend out of the sukkah. Relazul tamei the Amar. Ein Adam Yosei Lechavasa B'Sukkasa Shel Chavero. Ezra holds, like you said before in Daf Zion, that a person, he can't be Yotzi, you have to, the sukkah has to belong to you. Ikak and Exeles, if you hold, there's Machlokes and Baba Kama on Daf what? Kuf Yud. Pick one.
Kuf Yud Aleph.
Kuf Yud Zion.
Oh, wow.
Machlokes and Daf and Baba Kama, Kuf Yud Zion. There's only Kuf Yud 10 pages in
I didn't know that.
It's pretty much towards the end. He karka and exalted. The old karka could be stolen. Sukkah gzula here. It's a sukkah that's stolen, and you can't be able to. It's not your sukkah. You're not karka and exalted. It's not stolen. Sukkah shulahi belongs to the original owners, but you're borrowing it. You didn't steal it, but you're borrowing it. It's not yours. It's not yotzi. Rabbanon l'tamayu damri adam yotzi lechawaso b'sukkasa shel chavero. Person could be used to this right. It's karka and exalted. Karka, when you throw someone out of his sukkah, you can't really steal the land. The land belongs to him. It remains the ownership of the original owner. Sukkah sheulihi. And it's a borrowed sukkah, but you could yotzi someone else's sukkah. Ava gazel eitzim v'sichach bahen. If you stole the actual wood and used it as your stock, divrei call ein lo elo d'meitzim. Everyone agrees that it's a kosher sukkah. Even unless there's more, it's a kosher sukkah. All you have to do is repay him the amount of the value of the wood. Mimai, where do you know that from? But the Kasani Dumio, there's just a rab. It says, similar, compares Gzula to Shusha Rab. Marush Rabim Karka Lav Dideyu doesn't belong to you, it's public property. Sukhanami Lav Karka Dideyu. The sukkah also doesn't belong to you. So, therefore, we see that we're talking about comparable cases, Sharabim and the sukkah. That's the basis of the machlok, is Relezer and the Rabbanan. Hahi Saf says the Asa the Kameder of Nachman. There was a certain old lady, a grandmother. She was 119 years old.
Yeah, no.
How do you know she's 119 years old?
I don't know how.
We're going to see in a second.
Okay.
Asa the Kameder of Nachman. Amar Leil Rish Galusa, V'chul Rabban, V'rish Galusa. B'sukkah Gzula Havu Yasa. She complained to Rav Nachman. She said all the people in the exile ark, the Rish Galusa, he was like the mayor of Bavel. So him and his Rabbanon, his Talmudic scholars, his Kolel, they were stealing wood from her. And they're making a sukkah. They're sitting in a sukkah gzula. She was screaming, and Rav Nachman didn't pay attention. Rav Nachman. He didn't pay any attention to her. Amra Lei, she said to him, Issa dahavale lavu atlas meya v'tmani sari avdi safka kamaychu v'lo ashki chizuba. She said, someone who, my forefather, had 318 servants. Right? So, why should she say 318 servants?
He was very rich.
Who had 318 servants?
Her father.
I don't know if you know.
Oh.
Father. And she wasn't 119 years old. I made that up. It could be she was 119. It doesn't say how old she was. But she was screaming. Imagine a 119-year-old lady screaming.
It's really a humorous thing.
It is funny, right? How old do you have to be before you stop screaming?
Calm down, Grandma.
Okay. I would say probably the limit is like 110. After that, you can't scream anymor. Amarlu of Nachman, she's just a complainer, this lady. Because once you use, the Gemara says in Baba Kama that when you steal something from someone, you steal wood and you make it into a sukkah. So the person who made it into your schach, you did a shina maisa, you gozel and you did a shina maisa, so you're a kona of the schach, and it belongs to you. So it can be yotzi the sukkah, it belongs to the sukkah.
Oh,
that's why even Relezer is moda, because it belongs to you.
We didn't say that before. That's the
sukkah.
reason.
That's the reason. It belongs to you.
Now you explain it.
But
yes,
you still have to return the money, because they made it takanat hashavin that you don't have to return the actual eitzim, because you already fashioned into your sukkah. It's very hard to dismantle something that you built already. So we let you keep the building, but you have to pay the value of the eitzim. Amar Ravina, Hai Kshura Dematalasa, Gzula, Avi Rabban Takanta Mishum Takanas Marish. If you had a beam and you stole it and you made it into your sukkah, so they made it also Takana Takanas Marish, like I just explained, that you're allowed to keep it and pay back the money. Pshita. Why is a beam different than eitzim? Ma'ishnam eitzim, it's different from branches. Eitzim shchichi. Eitzim you can find, it's commonplace to find them. Avahaylo shchicha, this is not so commonplace. A beam is very important, so maybe you have to dismantle your sukkah and give it back. Kamash Malan, we don't say that. This is talking about you don't have to dismantle your sukkah during the 7 days of sukkahs. After sukkahs is over, you have to give back the beam or the eitzim that you gave back. You can't keep it anymore. If you actually attached it with plaster, you put it in and you made a permanent sukkah, right? So then it's very hard to take apart. So then they let you keep it, and you only have to pay money for it. So, you have experience stealing sukkahs?
I don't know. Sounds a little.
Shmuel, I have a business proposition for you. There's a lot of competition out now for sukkahs.
Right.
There's Lydon Brothers, I mentioned one time. There's Lighters, Leaders. I don't know how you pronounce it. Lighters.
Yeah.
They have the sukkah outlet. There's a lot of
Sukkah outlet,
competition
that's
to
right.
provide your sukkah, to
That's
give
right.
you the materials to
The
build your
sukkah
sukkah for you.
warehouse. Yeah.
I have a proposition for you. You, Shmuel Silver,
Yes.
Stolen Sukkah Enterprise. This is what you do. You steal people's wood,
Yeah.
and what you do is you give it to the, and there's such a hana feeling, right? Because a person can get, the Gemara says, Mayim Genuvim Mesukim, right? There's a sweetness. So listen to this.
Yeah.
Forget about your cup. Listen to
My
this.
cup.
Business enterprise. You can make
Yeah.
millions of dollars over here.
Yeah.
You steal some wood. You steal some beams. You sell it. You build a sukkah for them, and they have Mayim Genuvim Yimtaku. They have
Right.
a stolen sukkah.
Right.
And you have to just pay back the money. So you say, you put some money on the side, a deposit.
Yeah, yeah.
They'll pay them back the money.
Yeah.
And you get the stolen sukkah. You could advertise stolen sukkahs. Stolen sukkah.
That's ridiculous. That's your brains.
David.
Okay. Don't bother, David.
David.
Don't bother.
יש לי עצה בשבילו.
He has a crazy idea. Don't listen. אל תשמע לו.
הכל מוכרים סוכות, כן?
Sugar.
So, where's David? Listen, David, שומע. How are you doing? I have a share going on. Listen, David, who ימכור סוכות גזולות? והגמרא אומר שרק צריך להחזיר דמי עצם. והגמרא אומר בנדרים שמים גנובים ימתקו. So, לקבל הענה של גניבה, אפשר לגזול העצם, לגזול הסך, ולתקן את זה בסוכה שלך, ולא צריך להחזיר את זה, כי יש תקנות מרש. So, הוא ימכור סוכות גזולה, עם סך גזולה, ותקיים מים גנובים ימתקו.
כן, אוקיי.
והוא יהיה עשיר.
אבל אין פה ימתקו, כי מצווה סלב לענוי ניתנו.
מה זה מים גנובים ימתקו?
אין, זה לא ימתקו, כי מצווה סלב לענוי
סלב
ניתנו,
לא
ומילא אין פה שום נתיקוס.
יפה.
What do you say to a question like that? I mean,
You got
mitzvahs
you.
lav lahanos didn't know if you're doing it b'derech hayashar. If you're doing it in geneva, is gemada mayim gnavim yitaku. Yevshar lachish pasuk min Mishle. Okay.
Sheila Tova.
Okay, we have to go on.
You have to send the letters, Rav Chaim Kanievsky.
To ask him about this enterprise. All right. Tana, Yavish Pasul. If your lulav is Yavish, it's Pasul. Rehuda Machshri says Yavish lulav is kosher. Amarav Machlokis Belulav Derabanan. Belulav by a lulav Derabanan Savri Makshin and lulav the Esro. Where does it say in the Torah pre-Eitz Hadar? Where does it say Hadar? That can't be Yavish. It has to be beautiful by Esro. My Esro by Hadar compares the two together. Right, it says in the same pasuk together, by Hadar, Af Lulav, by Hadar, Lulav also needs to be beautiful. Rehuda Savri Lo Makshin Lulav the Esro. Now by Esro, Rabbi says, Devrei Akol Hadar Be'inan. Everyone agrees it has to be beautiful. Lulav L'Bahir Yehuda Adar. By Lulav, Rabbi Yehuda doesn't need Hadar. Vatnan, Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Yagdem Mala. He says when the leaves are splitting from the actual stem, they didn't fall off, but they're splitting. My time, you have to tie it from the top. My time, doesn't Rabbi Yehuda need? That should be beautiful. That's why it has to be together. Lo, the Gemara says lo. The time Rabbi Yehuda Omer Mishum Tarfon. Kapos tmarim. Kafos. You read the word kafos, tied down. Mayaparod yichvetenu. If it was separated, then you should tie it down. It's a different limud. It has nothing to do with hadar. V'lo baya hadar. If you doesn't need hadar, vatnan ein ognes lulav el b'mino. You can't tie the lulav except you have to make an eged according to Rabbi Yehuda. You have to tie them together, the three minim. It has to be one of the three minim. Divrei Rabbi Yehuda. My time. What's the reason? The reason he needs it to be the same min is that it should look nice. The Gemara says, "Lo, the ha'amarava filu b'siva filu b'ikra." Even the ivy on the bottom or the trunk, the bark, you could use for an eged. You can use to tie it down. These are not pretty things. My time with the Rabbi Yehuda. Awesome. What's his reason over there that he needs to mean? The kasav lulav saruk eged. All the lulav needs to be tied together. If you bring something else to tie it with, havalu chamisha minin. is going to be part of your egg, and it's going to be a fifth mean, and you can only have its Baal Tosef, right? Problem, right? Were you ever over on Baal Tosef, Shmuel? You ever have fun with Baal Tosef?
Baal Tosef.
Baal Tosef Enterprises?
There are certain times where a person has to be careful. No, I mean Baal Tosef.
Yeah, you're right.
What is that?
I don't know. I mean, listen, sometimes you take a chumrah upon yourself and it's not a warranted chumrah. That would be Baal Tosef.
Really?
No.
Think so?
That's what I'm possible. All right. Murray says, the Gemara says, "Esrog be by Rabbi Yehuda Hadar by Esrog. Does Rabbi Yehuda need it to be beautiful? Vatanya Arbas meaning Shabalulav Kashem Shein Polksin Mehen Kachen Mosif Nalan. Just like you can't have less than them, you can't have more than them. Lo Matzah Esrog Lo Yavi Lo Parish Velo Rimon Velo Davarachar. If you don't find an Esther, you can't bring a quinch. You know what a quinch is? That's what our school says. See, I have my art school here, Gemara.
Harry Potter recently.
I'm learning. I'm learning from the art school.
Word.
Yeah, what is a quinch?
I don't know. It
says
like
Q-U-I.
Potter game.
I here it says Q-U-I-N-C-E.
Quince. Oh, quince.
Quince. What's a quince? What's a quinch? What's
a quince? Not a quince.
What's a quince?
Quince.
What's quinch?
Quince is like this. I think it's something like. I don't know what they call it here. It's like it has like a little bit of like an apple. It looks like a little bit like an apple. It's like yellowish, like an apple.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, right, that one. A lot of fruits are yellow. All right, I don't know. It's like a lemon, you're saying?
No, it's like it's an apple. It has an apple peel, like an apple peel. I think so.
I don't know. Anyway, you're not supposed to bring it. Quince.
What do you call it in Hebrew?
Parish. Parish. What do they say? Parish. Parish. Yeah, anyway, if you don't have an esrog, you shouldn't bring a parish and a pomegranate, velo davarach, and anything else. Kamushin ksher, and if your lulav and esrog are dried out partially, they're withering, then it's kosher. Yevation, if they're totally dried out, psulin. Rabbi Yehuda Omer af yevation. Rabbi Yehuda says even yevation are ksher. Now, Rabbi Yehuda, Maisa on top of Laman Aleph is Bnei Krachin, the place where they had big cities. Shemarishan, they couldn't find lulavin from year to year. Shemarishan was Levei and lived Nevanei, and they would have an heirloom to their grandkids, right?
Wow.
They would give an heirloom to their grandkids. What would they give the heirloom? Instead of giving them a house or giving them a diamond ring, they would give them a dried out lulav. Can't beat that, right? You're waiting for the grandparents to die, so you get the Yerusha, you get a dried out lulav.
For Harvey?
Pretty bad.
Go to my little closet.
Anyway, they used to do it. So I'm gonna have my Misham Raya and Shas Tzchak Raya. He says that was a place they didn't have lulavim, so it's not a Raya. Kasani Mia.
You know what it says with Moshe and Moshe Feinstein? Where did he was the Rav in Russia somewhere.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of the town. And
Lublin, right?
What?
Lublin?
No, something like that.
Luban.
Yeah, Luban. But then there's not. But anyway, they had in the shul on a peg, a lulav. That they kept they kept it closed the whole. They used it for the 8 years.
Yeah, I read about that in Guinness Book of World Records. They have that there, under religious objects.
That's interesting. Really?
All right, no, it's not a Jewish book. All right, Kasani Mias, Rabbi Yehuda Omer Af Yevation Kshemer. Yehuda says even dry ones are kosher. My lava estrog, isn't he talking about an estrog also? Lo alulav, he's just talking about lulav. But an esrog, you would agree that you need it to be hadar. It can't be yavish. Amar Mar said in Bryce, Shem Shein Posman Kach and Mosif. You can't have more than dal mean pshita. Of course, you know. Baltoza, Mother same wheel of Amar Yehuda lulav sarach eged. Lulav needs to be tied together. Vi maisi minachrina hailuchu dekai v'hailuchu dekai. If you have 3 tied together and you bring something else, so each one is separate. If since the other 3 are tied together and the esrog gets sort of bound together with them, so this one is so you have 4 plus 1. It's not 5. It's just 4 plus 1. Right? Where does 4 plus 1 not equal 5?
Where does 4 plus? Why do you have 4? How do you have 4?
Because you have the esrog and the lulav, hadassim, aravos.
It's 4.
Hailuchu dekai, hailuchu dekai. You have 4 plus 1. Doesn't equal 5. Another one. That's the word it's saying.
Oh.
It became Mosif. You think you went to school and they told you 4 plus 1 is 5. The Gemara is saying it's not so pasha. The Gemara is a having it's not. Kamash malan. we do say 4 plus 1 is 5. Don't worry, you don't have to go ahead and complain to your math teacher. Amar Mar, lo matzah esrog liyavi lo rimon lo parish v'lo davar acher. You can't bring something else. Pshita. Obviously, you need an esrog. The Torah says esrog. Ma the same, it doesn't say esrog. It's pre-etadar. Right? You sure an esrog is the citron? Are you sure?
Citron is a.
I always thought, I don't know, I always thought, I had a havamina that lulav and esrog is a way of fencing. The mitzvah of lulav and esrog is fencing. You know what fencing is? It's a sport.
Sport?
Fencing, those people dress up like the armor or whatever. You know, like the armor, and they take like these sharp pointed swords. And they fight each other. You fight each other like the swords, and you have to hit each other.
That's not like one of the
The
Jewish.
lulav is the spear that you use to fence, and
Interesting. And you fight against each other.
esrog is the glove, and the hadass and the rav is the armor. So that it's fencing. That's the mitzvah of lulav. That's the sod. I'm telling you the sod. This is the secret of.
It says that in the Medrash that it's that we show the
We're fighting.
that
It's a milchama.
we won the milchama.
Exactly, it's fencing. That's what it is.
Interesting.
See, when it says that citron, that's only the drush, right? There's 4 levels of understanding Torah. There's the pshat, right? Then there's drush, remez, and sod. The truth is the sod. Drush. This is all the Talmud Torah Shabbat Peh really is drush. Our school is full of drush. Drush is not really the truth. It's a hint. It's less than a hint. Remez is a hint. Got it? All right.
Okay.
I want to see you fencing this sukkah, all right? We'll have a match. Me and Ray Goldstein will have a match, a fencing match. Let's see who gets Daf Yomi Succah and tell us now. All right. So the Gemara says, Pshita, of course it has to be the same thing. Maybe you should bring a different fruit because you don't have an esrog, so you won't forget about bringing an esrog next year. Kamash Milan, we don't say it. A problem comes out of it. Next year, even if you have an esrog, you're going to come use that quince. Tashma, esrog hayasha and pasal, Rehuda machshir. Esrog, which is an old one, a dried out one, is pasal, and Rehuda allows it. Tiyufta the Rava, Tiyufta. We see Rehuda's machshir, even a dried out esrog. Rava said he would agree by esrog. Then where is the load by hadar? Rehuda doesn't hold of hadar. Apparently, Rehuda doesn't hold of the concept of hadar. If it's very green, like leek, it's very green, a green esrog. So Remeir says kasher, and Rehuda says it's pasul. Mishum de hadar isn't the reason Rehuda needs it to be beautiful. My answer is lo mishum de lo gamar pira. It's not a complete fruit. It's not called an esrog. It's not because it's not beautiful. It's not an esrog because when it's very green, it's not ripe yet. It's not a fruit. Tashma shir esrog katan. Remeir omer keegos. Rabbi Yehuda omer kebeitza. What's the share of a small esrog? How small could it be? Remeir says it could even be the size of a nut. What type of nut?
What type of nut? I don't know.
Does it say what type of nut? Take a guess. What do you think?
Peanut?
No.
I
don't know. I don't think peanuts are that good. Pick a good nut. What's your favorite nut?
Not regular nut. I don't know. Walnut.
Cashew. We'll go with the cashew.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a cashew.
Probably a walnut. I don't know. It's round. The walnuts are round. Cashews and peanuts are not round. All right. Maybe what is that thing called? Pistachio.
Pistachio. That's very small.
Yeah. All right. We'll take a survey. Write in what you think. The Gemara says, "Shir esrog katan." Remeir omer keegos. Rehuda omer kebeitza. He says it has to be at least an egg. Otherwise, you didn't have a minimum shir. It must be. It needs to be beautiful. Right? It says lo mishum de lo gamar pira. It's because it didn't reach its full growth yet. That's why it's so small. So therefore, it's not called a fruit. Tashma v'gadol k'dei sheyochas shnei biyado achas Rabbi Yehuda. If it's a big esrog, Rabbi Yehuda says it can be as big as long as you can hold 2 of them in one hand. Even 1 in 2 hands. My timer, what's the reason he needs it to be small enough that it shouldn't be so big? He hold 2 in one hand. My timer, because he needs to be beautiful. Low. Lulav small. Since Rabbi said you hold the lulav which has 3 minim, so therefore it has more minim. You hold it in your right hand. The esrog you hold in your left hand. Sometimes you might get mixed up. Someone might hand you the esrog and lulav in the wrong position. They'll give you the esrog in the right hand, and the lulav in the left hand. And you're going to have to try to switch the hands Asi afsule, and you're going to drop it. If it's too big, you're going to drop it. That's why he says, and that's the gzeira there, so therefore you shouldn't drop it. It should be small enough, you should be able to exchange it between hands freely and not drop it. Because if it falls on the floor, it'll get a psul maybe. Rabbi Yehuda haksiv hadar. He says hadar. What does he do with hadar? Ahu hadar bi lano mishana l'shan. He darshans it somehow. We'll see on the Gemara in Daf Lamed Hey. Hadar is not beautiful. Hadar, that it lives. It lives from season to season on the tree. It doesn't fall off the tree like most fruits. Shalashir v'shalani dachas. If it's not a share tree that was worshipped, or it's near dachas, it's not kosher for a lulav. Shalashir apostle, is a share really possible? I'm a rav, a lulav shalavad zara, a lulav that you worshipped as a zara, or you use it to worship a zara. Lo yitol, you shouldn't take it. If not kosher, but the eved, it's kosher. Why? Because like our friend David said, mitzvahs lav lahanas nitnu, right? It's a mitzvah. The issue is to get hana from a zara. You're not getting hana when you're using it for a mitzvah. Hacha b'ashir the Moshe askina. My answer is our mission is talking about the share of Moshe when they first came into Eretz Yisrael, so they had to burn all the Asherah trees, right? Right then, when there was a chiyuv to sreifa, the ksuse michsa shiure like yarni dachas, that its shear it's only l'sreifa. It's going to be burnt soon, so therefore it's going to lose its shear. And Estrog has to have, and Estrog and a lulav have to have a certain shear. Taikanami the tani dumia the yarni dachas. It writes the two together. Asher and yarni dachas. Shmamina. They are talking about Asherah of Moshe Rabbeinu. Shmuel, if you were around in the time of Moshe Rabbeinu and there was a mitzvah to burn Asherah trees, what type of how would you get the fire started? Like what type of fire would you use?
That's a good question. I was just thinking about that.
Would you use charcoal? Would you use?
That's a good one. Lighter fluid, maybe.
Lighter fluid, some charcoal.
What do you think?
Me, I would take a blowtorch. Yeah, I take a blowtorch and have fun with it. You know what I'm saying?
That's not the point. You want it to.
You want to burn it as quickly as possible. It's reason makdim mitzvos. Shmuel's over there buying the cheap charcoal grills from the makolet over there that barely light, and he's trying with the matches and he's putting lighter fluid and he's trying to light it up very quickly. And meanwhile, everybody else is burning the Asherah trees, and Shmuel, he can't figure it out. Shmuel's way behind the game. And Shmuel, right. and the problem, you're losing out.
It's funny because I found some last Thursday night. I found in Toastone a bunch of books and bundles of books of missionaries left here in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I wanted to burn them. That's why I asked the Rav to burn them.
So you burnt them?
I tried to, but it was impossible. They didn't go on fire. I don't know why. They have this it's like plasticky paper. I don't know why. It didn't work.
See, we don't have to live in the times of Moshe Rabbeinu. In Telstone, it's always like the time of Moshe Rabbeinu. We're always burning things here. A bunch of pyromania. We're not burning things. But if you have cases like Shmuel, where you have missionaries that leave books here, and you have to burn them. So me and Shmuel, just call me up, ask me. I'll bring my blowtorch, all right? We'll take care of it. We'll take care of business.
That's scary, blowtorch. Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.